I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
It's Friday night, and we're all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened, but he didn't break him with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you.
Well, there you go.
Oh my days! What a literally.
I thought we were coming on here to talk about Starmer yesterday, and
yeah.
it's just
well, I'm sure we'll get to Kyiv, but Volodymyr is kind of.
I think the term is he's screwed the pooch.
He's so screwed. He's so screwed. It's game over. He's literally done. He's just missed his last life in Space Invaders, and he's got no more barrels left in Donkey Kong. It's completely game over.
He's
wow.
Yeah, it's just
and I mean, it's one of the most epic meltdowns in history. It's just, I mean, there's even people trying to figure out whether he actually called JD Vance a bitch in Ukrainian. And to cap it off, all of the Europeans going, "You'll never walk alone. You're not on your own, Zelensky." Yeah, you are. So done. Anyway, let's dive straight in there.
well, I've got 2 more videos if you want.
To be honest, I think we should just crack on with the slides.
Okay, let's get
I
in
think
there.
everyone's seen the videos.
Right, so if we, I mean, yeah, I thought it was going to be about Starmer, but Zelensky, like he always does, has stolen the show. Maybe not in the best way this week.
He's
just lost it. And I mean, he's walked in there full of marching powder or whatever.
Oh, he was high as a kite, you could tell.
Yeah, he was as high.
His marching powder.
Yeah, he was higher than a 747 just crossing the Atlantic. The guy he doesn't have a Scooby. I can imagine, you can imagine being a Secret Service agent in that room. You'd be edging closer to the president thinking, what is this guy doing?
And I mean, did you see the video of the Ukrainian ambassador in Washington face palming him literally the whole time? It was just, this is what your face looks like when the game is completely over. Because he basically all of the things I've always disliked about him, to the point of despising him, all of those qualities came out today.
Yeah,
he displayed every single one of them: the arrogance, the self-entitled, and he's also not very bright.
So much arrogance, though.
Yeah. And
especially after what he's had. I mean, this guy wouldn't even have been there if it wasn't for America. And to be fair, Ukraine wouldn't be in this mess if it wasn't for America. But Zelensky owes everything he's had to America, and not to anything he's done, because he didn't win, a seat there. He was put there. Really?
Yeah, and you're making a point that is worth repeating, that to say that Ukraine started all of this and Zelensky started all of this, no, it was the neocons. It's always been a neocon project to try and weaken Russia, and if you can blame anyone, it's the people at the National Endowment for Democracy, people like Victoria Nuland, Robert Kagan, that whole Project for a New American Century crowd.
Nuland she's a right shitstar.
Anyway, Nuland should be in prison, and she's a war criminal. She's one of the worst of the lot.
Nobody will.
No, they never do.
Anyway, right, so here we go. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. And I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. Donald J. Trump.
It's something that you said to me before the show. This is a very, very different Trump.
Yeah.
He's I don't know, there's a Machiavellian aspect to it. But he's playing a much more clever game, and he's got obviously much better people around him as well, who are giving him much better advice. And he's been paying attention. So, I still, to say that, do I like Donald Trump? No. Do I particularly support him? No. Do I agree with him on everything? No. But in this particular regard, he's trying to bring the world back from the brink of World War III, and the European leaders, who are the ones whose countries are going to be most directly impacted by any kind of war with Russia, are the ones trying to barrel headlong into some internecine nonsense conflict that doesn't have to happen, because it's all based on the premise that once Russia's done in Ukraine, they're going to hit the rest of Europe. And they are just categorically not going to do that. I mean, every single Russian leader that I've ever heard talk about it has said the same thing. They're not interested in Europe. Why the hell would they want a bunch of purple-haired, argumentative weirdos that don't know whether they're boys or girls?
Forget that.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Forget that, Ed. All you've got to do is look at how long it's taken in Ukraine, right? Now, I don't believe for an instant that the Russian army are holding back to any real degree. Modern warfare, it appears that modern warfare just takes so long to inch forward, because all these drones. Yeah.
Sure. The thing is that it's the type of war that's being fought. The West fights these kind of blitzkrieg style wars where you get to Baghdad in 3 days and kick Saddam out and all this bullshit.
Can't do that.
The Russians have and always will fight attritional wars. They don't fight for territory. They fight to grind down their opponent. And they're
not going to do that in Europe. They don't want to do that. They can't afford to do that because it costs them men as well. I mean,
exactly.
This isn't it's not a no-loss situation for Russia, They don't want this any more than we do.
No. Well, Europe's got nothing that Russia needs. No. Literally nothing. It's got lots of problems and nothing that Russia needs or wants. Russia just wants peace. That's what they've always said. If back in March of 2022, the evil, blood-stained, parasitical eugenicist bastard Boris Johnson hadn't gone to Kiev and scuppered the Minsk agreements, Ukraine would have 1 million more people, lots more land, plenty of rare earths, which they don't have anymore.
If they've even got, I'm not sure about
exactly.
that. Yeah.
And they had initialed every single page on that agreement, and the West went in and said, no, keep fighting. So,
yeah. Right.
I mean...
So you gave me this to say with the express command that this must be included on the slide. So I have included it in the slide. So the White House officials have apparently told Fox News that Trump kicked out Zelensky, did not walk off of his own. Rare minerals deal was not signed. The White House said the Ukrainians were begging to reset, but Rubio and Waltz informed them that Zelensky needs to leave the White House grounds and return when he's ready for peace. President and US officials felt disrespected by Zelensky's rhetoric and demeanour, citing he was shrugging and rolling his eyes during the conversation. That was probably just to keep himself awake. When I went to upper press to ask what was going on, the lunch that Trump and Zelensky were supposed to dine on and talk over was sitting in the hallway. I'm told that the White House press office staffers will be eating it. Dine well. You deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you know it's a failure when the staffers get the dinner. Yeah. I mean, that one, it says everything. I like those sort of insider kind of off the cuff sort of posts. And it speaks volumes about what actually happened.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So good evening to the Troll Room.
Sorry. No, go on. I'm just...
Good evening to the Troll Room. Shalini, Julie C, Special Mechanic TV, Scott Chegg, also known as Ray. He seems to change his name. He's obviously some kind of agent. He talked about me working for 5. I think he maybe works for 6. Was it 6 that put the guy in the duffel and said it was a self-termination event, even though it was zipped up from the outside? Anyway, that's the kind of thing that 6 is up to. Profane Truth, I like that. That's a good one. Who else we got? Beats and Tapes, Britmate. Is that us? Warren Longmore? That's a new name, is it? Is that a new name? Is Warren Longmore a new name? Well, maybe not for Warren, but for us, Who else we got? Ed the Techie. Don't know who that guy is. He keeps turning up though.
No, it's really annoying.
Yeah, and on the other chat, we've got Paul Armstrong. Good to see you, Paul. Emma Watts. Hello, Emma. Now, you are on the vertical stream, so if you want to join the main chat on the horizontal stream, that's entirely up to you. If you're watching on a phone, though, stay where you are. I'll be fine. Jethro, good day. Nectaridus, lurking there, lurking. Having a phone call. And Vaughn. Good to see you, Vaughn. Haven't seen you for a wee while.
Some new names there. It's always nice to see.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's excellent. Cheers. Right, okay, let's crack on. The week started. Let's go back to, Monday. Bloody hell!
It's like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
it was Monday. It's insane. We get to Tuesday and we've got enough slides for the week, and then the bloody week just starts interfering.
Yeah, I think there's like.
But this was
Duda.
Poland.
Yeah, he was the first
of things to come.
Yeah, he was the first to turn up, which was. He probably thought he was being smart and thought, I'll get in there before he gets towards the end of the week when his eye's going to be irked. And boy, was his eye irked. But
no, that order of Poland, France, Britain, that wasn't an accident.
No, it wasn't.
Because they were communicating.
Yeah.
And because the Poles are very keen not to have any kind of troops on the ground because they want to keep all of the foreign troops in Poland because otherwise they don't have anyone to help their own armed forces.
Yeah.
But it was just the way that Trump treated the Polish guy was a kind of a sign of things to come.
Yeah, so Mr. Duda here sat outside the Oval Office for 1.5 hours and talked to him for 11 minutes. Wow.
And then afterwards, all of the Polish press were trying to polish the turd. Literally, they were trying to focus on how much had been accomplished in such a short space of time, and literally, rather than it being just a massive humiliation.
Well, talking about massive humiliations, what about Kaka? Because she turned up for her meeting with Marco Rubio.
Love it.
And
cancelled.
And he cancelled it. He just cancelled it. And she then went on X and said, I've cancelled it. I'm not going to go to that meeting anymore. No, you didn't, Kaka. He cancelled it, doll. He dumped you like a cheap floozy.
Just any... I of all of the different European head honcho type people, she's one of my least favorite, and that's being extremely polite. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? She just, I mean, why, when the United States is now turning towards peace, why would you want to talk to one of the most belligerent people? And she actually, at the Munich Security Conference, she tried to give J.D. Vance a dressing down and called him an appeaser and stuff. And she's a complete Fruit Loop.
Yeah, she is. I'm drinking the Thirsty Ferret, Brit, mate. Drinking the Thirsty Ferret. Right, let's move on. Next one. Hey, dipshits. Oh, we're coming in early. There was statutory Friday night, so we do have to mock some Americans. If you're an American, don't feel any umbrage from this. It's a sign of love, because we, especially as Scottish people, an insult is a compliment. In fact, it's just the way we are. So it does come from a place of love. So here we go. Hey, Joe says, hey, dipshits, when Trump leaves NATO, who's going to help protect America from China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea? The US against the world. Y'all are really dumb. Yeah. And, of course, you've got to take the answer's fantastic. Yes, I'm sure the reason China hasn't attacked us is because it's afraid of Lithuania. The only thing I've ever seen come out of Lithuania are trucks. That's about it. Pardon me.
I don't know. I mean, I used to have a Latvian friend. She was nice.
Latvia's not Lithuania, though, is it?
Well, no, but they're all the Baltics.
See, I know they're the Baltics, and they look gorgeous. I mean, don't get me wrong, they look gorgeous, right? But they remind me of
pretty women.
They remind me of Legoland for some reason. I don't know why. I can imagine them being small, physically small.
Well, they are physically small.
Yeah, well, okay. Right, let's move on. Where are we? So there's Kaka. 3 years since Russia launched its full-scale war. 3 years of Ukrainian heroism. Well, there wasn't much heroism on display today in the Oval Office. A little bit of contrition might have gone a long way. And she got a flag. It was an honour for her to receive the flag of the 36th Separate Marine Brigade and witness the Ukrainians' bravery on the battlefield. Yay! They gave Kaka a flag. Why did they give Kaka a flag?
I don't know. Is that the 36th? Is that the Ukrainian Marine Brigade?
Yeah.
Meh, whatever.
Who cares?
They're probably. I mean, they're done. Finished. Game over.
Yeah.
Bye, Kaka.
Britmate's right. It's not a full-scale war, because if this was a full-scale war, Ukraine would be absolutely flat. But that's never going to be the intention, is it? Well,
Not
no,
the full.
maybe now. Maybe now it will be.
Well, yeah, but I mean the whole full-scale, unprovoked, great invasion narrative.
Oh, that's nice.
Ever since the start has always it incenses me because it's historical revisionism. It's just trying to say that all of this nonsense started in 2022 when the Russians launched the SMO, but it actually didn't. It goes back at least as far as 2015, if not back to the late 90s.
1997 is when it started. Right. Ukraine has this tweet has aged incredibly well. I think I put this up here on Wednesday. So Ukraine has already won the war. Now it only needs to consolidate the results. Timo Choko, or whatever his name is head of the Council of Reservists of the Land Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. His logic is that Russia wanted to capture the Baltics and Poland. I don't think they did. They did.
They never did.
Why would they want them?
There's absolutely no reason they would want them. The only reason that Russia would do anything is if they start properly suppressing or attacking Russian-speaking populations the way that the Ukrainians did in Donbass. That would cause the Russians to go in and look after their own brethren. But as long as Europe is nice to the Russians, the Russian speakers in their territories, because obviously places like Estonia and Latvia and Lithuania have got they've got a sizable Russian community there, just going back to Soviet days. And as long as they're treated properly and they're allowed to practice their religion and speak their language, Russia won't have a problem with it.
So, sorry, Emma, I just saw your tweet there about, can I put a link to the horizontal sentence? But I see you've made your way across anyway, so well done. Good girl. You managed on your own. And you know what? I need a producer. I don't have a producer, so I'm doing everything myself. Right. Anyway, shall we move on, Ed? Firemen are two male and 2 white, say chiefs. Report claims Britain's fire service is institutionally racist, misogynist and homophobic. Well, I don't know. I've seen some of those firemen calendars. I don't think they're that homophobic, are they? Anyway, Britain's fire service's 2 male and 2 white report has claimed. The report, commissioned by the National Fire Chiefs Council, found that the fire service was institutionally racist, misogynist and homophobic. I don't give a shit what the fire service are. You know what? Because if my house is on fire and one of these guys comes along and fucking hauls my fat ass out of there and keeps me alive, I don't care. That's all I want him to do.
They're one of the few parts of the system that I've still got any respect left for.
That's all I want him to do. Haul my fat ass out of a burning building, right?
When your or my fat asses need being hauled out of a burning building, who would you like to have it done? Who would you like to do the hauling?
I don't care. Someone that can carry me.
5 super strong male,
exactly,
or 5'4", potentially quite strong, but nowhere near strong enough to haul my fat ass out of a building. I don't. It's this whole woke nonsense needs to be consigned to the dustbin of history. The people that should be employed as firefighters are A, people that want to be firefighters, B, people who can do the job physically, because it's like scaffolding. It's not. This is not.
It's like scaffolding.
Requires
It's a job that requires a little bit of mental retardation. Yes. Well, let's face it. Anyone who willingly runs into a burning building is off their freaking nut.
Yeah.
I've done it. I was off my nut. I wouldn't do it again.
And I mean, it's like what you've talked about before, where there were height qualifications for police.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that. The simple fact is that it requires a level of physical ability and strength that these days is not common in the population.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
exactly.
50 years ago, it'd probably be a lot more common.
Yeah.
But it just isn't. And this whole discussion of firemen are too what? I mean, you're demotivating the fire service because you're all racist.
Who cares?
So why the hell would I want to run in and save your bloody woke ass from a burning building because you're calling me a racist?
You know what, Ed? I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching something. In fact, you know what I was watching? I was watching Jesus Christ Superstar, right? Which probably for the time was fairly progressive. I remember watching that in the cinema when it came out. And you know what? I think that guy Carol Anderson that played Judas was fantastic. Great singer and did a fantastic part in it. And he was black. And he was really black. You know, he was a real dark guy. And I never gave that a thought at the time. And I was thinking about it and thinking, all the TV programs we used to watch, they all had a lot of diversity in them. There was always a lot of different characters. I mean, even when you looked at Star Trek, there was black guys, there was Sulu, and you know, there was Uhura. There was, in fact, Star Trek, the first interracial kiss on TV. But everybody had diversity, but nobody mentioned it because nobody cared.
Mm.
And now, but I mean, I need to finish this, right? But now, with all this black BLM and everything, I think they've made me racist. I think black people have made me racist because they're not entitled, or they shouldn't be. And they've gone too far, you know? So they've put me down, and I'm rebelling against them. When I'm thinking back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, nobody gave a shit what colour your skin was.
No, I mean, you're talking to someone who spent the first 11 years of his life in Africa, and my family crosses pretty much every skin color apart from Asian.
Yeah.
And I don't love my Afro-Zambian brother and sister. Well, my brother's dead now, but I don't love my Zambian sister and my nieces and nephews any less because the color of skin is slightly different. It's not about that. And more to the point, everyone is racist. Everyone. I mean, if you go to Africa as a white person, you'll experience racism from black people. I mean, if you
try living
go
in
to
China,
Japan,
mate. Try living in China.
In China, we're Guaylo. I mean, the point is that it's about whether you're an asshole or whether you're not an asshole.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that I'm really, really grateful about when I lived in Hong Kong was that I wasn't fat. Because Chinese will literally stand and stare and point out and laugh at fat people. They really will. Hey, it's just their culture.
Mm-hmm. Right, moving on.
Yes, moving on. The Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area is expected to start seeing new delivery drones flying through the air, dropping off packages in backyards.
There's no slide.
Oh, because I haven't gone to the slides page. So, right, Californian-based zipline company is expanding operations in Texas. Over the next few weeks, residents in the north may see these. Right, so this drone flies over, and it's not like a hover drone. It's like it keeps going. It just drops a package like a bombing run. Okay.
Oh, that's asking for trouble.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly what it does. Okay, because I mean that is a video, but I'm not going to bother showing it. But Zipline is the company that I was talking about that were testing with FAA approval during the night in their New Jersey facility when all that nonsense about drones in New Jersey was kicking off.
Right, so that explains it.
Well, it explains some of it, because, I mean, I pointed this out at the time, but nobody fucking listens to us, Ed. That's the problem. Nobody listens to us, mate.
Nope. Oh, well, their loss.
Exactly. Right. This guy says, I just want to be very clear, as clear as I can be. He's got a beef with Grok. He says, Grok is giving me hundreds of pages of detailed instructions on how to make chemical weapons of mass destruction. I have a full list of suppliers, detailed instructions on how to get the needed materials, and so on, right? And it's like, yeah, okay, but Grok's not giving you anything that isn't already available on the internet. It's already there. I mean, like this stuff was there. You remember the Hacker's Handbook? This stuff was available from the mid '80s. Right? Yeah, the anarchist. I was trying to not say that words because but anyway, because it's YouTube. But anyway, this stuff's been available on the internet for decades. It's all there. You know how to make napalm if you want.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, caliber of people. People, I don't know. People are just dumb, basically.
So
probably millennial.
The muskrat comes on today and said, yesterday and said, well, I think it was yesterday before I got suspended, but the muskrat came on and said that Grok was Grok wasn't woke at all, unlike the other AIs. And I'm thinking, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. Grok is as woke as the rest of them. So I just did a very simple test, and all I said was, what's the average IQ of a Caucasian? 100. Straight back at me, 100, right? Which is fine. Because what's the average IQ of a sub-Saharan African? Oh, I'm not here to give you numbers on this kind of topic because this is fraught with, this is very complex, nuanced, and is under much contest. I can't give you an answer on this. Not woke. Yeah, not woke, all right. That's ridiculous. That's just fucking ridiculous.
Well, they all are, because fundamentally the models are based on similar training data.
Oh, of course.
And the world is just bloody woke.
Did I tell you about my experiment with Grok though? When I asked it to give me a critique, or I asked it to write a parody of Allah, right? And it said it wouldn't parody religious leaders. I goes, okay, that's fine. So I thought, I'll start smaller. So I went to politicians and I said, give me a parody of Boris Johnson. And it wrote me a roast. I said, give me a roast of Boris Johnson, and it wrote it. Fine. Give me a roast of the Archbishop of Canterbury. And it did it. And I goes, give me a roast of the Pope. And it did it. And I said, give me a roast of Jesus Christ. And it wouldn't. And I said to it, but you have already roasted the Pope, who is, as far as Catholics are concerned, the living embodiment of God on this earth. And it said, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Which I thought was quite funny. Have you tried its new voice yet?
No.
Oh, freaking hell. I was going to try and put it on tonight because it's mental, right? It is mental. It's worse than a wife. It's that bad. But I was going to try it and put it on through the Bluetooth, but for some reason the phone and the Bluetooth will talk to each other, but not with Grok. Right. Yeah. USAID's Haiti scandal is staggering. US sent
this is shocking.
4.4 billion after the 2010 earthquake, yet less than 2% reached Haitians, while 56% lined the pockets of the DC firms. The Red Cross claimed to shelter 130,000 people and built just 6 houses.
And the Bill and Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation is up to his eyeballs in this.
6 houses.
The whole thing is absolutely shocking. I mean, the way that Haiti is actually in the topic for, I mean, there's potential rabbit holes there, because the essential problem that the Haitians have got is that they were the first and only ever successful slave uprising. And the ruling classes of this world have never forgotten or forgiven it. That's why Haiti has been so dumped on. And I mean, anytime a Haitian leader has come along that actually wants to try and help his people, they end up getting couped or assassinated or whatever.
Yeah.
And Haiti just remains this desperately poor place, and it's disgusting, frankly.
Yeah.
And it all, in my opinion, it all traces back to that slave rebellion. But it's and USAID. It's of all of the things Trump has done, and there's plenty of stuff that I disagree with him, particularly his stance towards the Middle East. But what setting Musk loose with Doge on the American government has got to be one of the best things any president has ever done in US history.
I can't see an argument for not cutting down big government. I really can't. I mean, but I think I'm a bit of a libertarian at heart. I think big government is an abomination. I really think.
Well, especially when you look at how many of the programs USAID was funding were actually undermining the very structure and cohesiveness of the United States, and also the amount of stuff that they were doing elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, big government, it isn't required, because government should only really be looking after the really, really big things, like, okay, global diplomacy, defense. Should government really be running your health service? Because should it be? Because your health service is so different depending on where you live, you know? So maybe that should be more... In fact, it is a little bit more local because it's broken down into different regions. So why does it need to be centrally managed and funded?
Well, I mean, fundamentally, I agree with you, but I think that the one of the jobs that government should have is to protect the population from rapacious corporations and like foreign threats. If someone threatens to invade, the problem is that governments don't want us to realize is that humans are self-organizing.
Yeah, they are.
All of the jobs that we think we need governments for, if there was no government, those jobs would still get done, because there would be people that would organize themselves and say, look, we need to get these bins sorted, we need to clean the streets. It would just happen.
So the question is, right, and here's a question that I was thinking about today. And you go on about communism, I go on about communism not being a good thing, and I was thinking about it. The state at the moment in Britain seem to be trying to seize the means of production. And then I'm thinking, why is it better for the means of production to be in private hands?
Well, but the state in Britain is not trying to seize the means of production.
Yeah, okay, but let's say they were. Let's say we were trying to be communist, right? And the state was trying to seize it. Well, in Scotland it has, or it's trying to, because it's nationalised the railways.
It depends entirely on the nature of the state. I mean, if you look at Burkina Faso, is an interesting example, because there was a military coup in Burkina Faso, and the leader who's come into power, can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's a typical classic eccentric African leader, but he's also a rarity in the sense that he cut ministerial salaries, increased civil servant salaries, and he's building loads of factories. He imported loads of agricultural equipment and was dishing out tractors and all sorts of things. He's built food production. He started off with food production. He's taken the country's gold supply, and before Burkina Faso used to export all their unprocessed gold to France, and now he's built gold processing. The point being that if the state does a good job managing the means of production, then because it can coordinate things across the whole economy in a way that an individual corporation would struggle to, that if it's well managed, which unfortunately it rarely is, if it is,
so we're back.
Then your argument is essentially that it's more about the quality of management. If the private sector does a good job, then
So we're back to, you're better off with a benevolent dictator. If he's competent, you're better off with a benevolent dictator.
You kind of are.
Yeah, I know. It sounds horrible. It sounds nuts. But you really are better off. Anyway, let me rant. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, okay, no, it's fine. If you need to
I need to rant about Musk, right? I need to rant about Musk because Musk is pissing me off, right? Because he's doing exactly what Keir Starmer's doing, albeit on a smaller scale and with less obvious, less obvious incarceration. But he's doing exactly the same thing because you say something on Twitter that isn't that bad. You're replying to someone, asking about something, you give them a reply and you get hit for violent hate speech, right? And it wasn't violent hate speech because it was a question. It was an answer to a question that was itself a question. So it wasn't violent hate speech. It was a reply. And it wasn't suggesting that anyone do anything, but you get suspended straight away. And then you're told you can appeal it. And you appeal it because, it's stupid. It's an algorithm has picked up something stupidly. A person should look at that and in 10 seconds go, yeah, that's not hate speech, right? But what happens? Yes, thank you for your appeal. You now will not be able to access your X account until your appeal has been reviewed. Right? Which is fine. And then it goes on to say, however, if you can't be bothered waiting, you can always just delete your post. That's censorship. That's coercion. That's exactly what just happened to Lucy Connolly. Now, I know it's not the same situation, and obviously the consequences are not the same, but it's the same thing, Plead guilty and we'll let you out early. That's outrageous. It's just that to me is fucking outrageous. That's not freedom of speech. That's just censorship by the back door. And Musk knows exactly what he's doing. He's a fucking duplicitous and he's also a naive twat. He really is. Because you know what he said today? He said today that maybe the corrupt politicians should get paid more to make them less corrupt.
He said that a few days ago, actually.
Well, yeah. But imagine saying that. That's fucking ridiculous. That's like saying, oh, the Mexican cartels are putting bombs on the border and hurting people because they can't get their immigrants across. So maybe we should just back down. No, you go in harder and you go in fucking hard and sort the problem out. You don't back down. So if somebody's ripping you off left, right and centre, a public servant nevertheless, if they're ripping you off, you don't let them away with it. You prosecute them to the full extent of the law and put them in jail because they've stolen money off everyone. You don't give them more money and the off chance that they might stop what they're doing because they fucking won't. They won't. I'm finished.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, I had to get that out.
I had you on a timer and you came in before the timer, so it's all
right. I'm done.
No, well, I can understand you having to get that out of your system. And I don't know. The thing is that Musk, fundamentally, I don't trust him. Everything that he does is part of the technocracy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't deny that he's a very smart guy. And I
think he's lacking in common sense at times, though. That is a kind of a feature of people that are incredibly smart. They lack common sense on a number of occasions.
The thing is, for me, I don't know. I mean, I think fundamentally, is he someone that cares about the United States and is trying to make it a better place? In his own, I mean, okay, you might not necessarily agree with what he thinks of as better place, but the way that he manages his companies, for example, for him to be able to, and I know that he's not the one that's doing day-to-day stuff, that he's involved in these companies, but he does have a massive impact on them. And it does, I mean, if you look at the control he exercises in places like Tesla, I mean, when Tesla was getting off the ground, he was sleeping in the factory. Yeah. Week after week, and largely the same with SpaceX. But he seems to be someone that is good at attracting other good people and then giving them the freedom to essentially do their thing. And I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at what's happening with Doge and his peccadillos aside and his dress sense, and I mean, wearing a hat inside is just a no-no from a sartorial perspective. But the fact of the matter is...
Could you be any more English?
It's bloody true. It's okay for a woman to wear a hat indoors, but it's not okay for a man to wear a hat indoors. It's just not the done thing. But I'm possibly a bit old-fashioned. Yeah. But I mean, and the thing with Twitter is, yes, there is a certain amount of censorship, and we live in the UK. We have to watch what we say for fear of the bloody government coming and knocking on our door.
It's outrageous, mate. That guy, Paul Joseph Watson, he made a video and he was showing all these people that got locked up, and they've said less than I've said.
It's essentially, I think, it's like what happened with Lucy. It wasn't just what she posted, but the people that were trying to nail her, because there was a whole group of people on X that didn't like her. Yeah. And I mean, it was Mutton Crew and all of these dickheads. And they were waiting for her to step over the line. And she did. And because there were so many of them, and they all reported her, not just to Twitter, but to the police as well, that then meant the system, and the fact that she was a Tory councillor's wife, which the Labour press absolutely loved because they never stopped mentioning it. And then you have to put up with Keir Starmer sitting in front of Donald Trump saying that he's proud of our tradition of freedom of speech. I
couldn't get over that. I couldn't get over that.
And the thing is, that's why, because Trump was all pally-pally with Starmer because he knows that Starmer is going to suck up to him, and the Brits have got a certain amount of class. They're going to rock up in expensive suits paid for by Lord Ali. Yeah, not the bloody camouflage nonsense. Well, he was wearing black at least, but
no, it was green.
The thing is, but they knew
just a darker green.
Mm-hmm. But they essentially lured Zelensky into a trap because that whole coming to Washington to sign the mineral deal, all of that stuff, it was very contrived. And the mineral deal wasn't even a deal. It was just I mean,
he did a good job because he kind of had me. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Because why is he talking about rearming Ukraine and allowing them to keep fighting and all that when? Just last week he was saying he was cutting off, and what's his name? Hegseth and Rubio and that are still saying, we've stopped. And even Vance said 15 hours ago, we're not sending any arms at all to Ukraine. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here?
I think Trump's, from what I can tell so far, I think he's doing it deliberately to keep all of the people who hate him and want to destroy him and ruin his presidency like they did last time. Yeah. Because he put up with 4 years of them essentially stabbing him in the back at every opportunity. And so now he knows that the main power the other side has is the control of the press and the control of the narrative. And so what he's been doing ever since he was sworn in is moving things so quickly, changing things so fast, that the narrative is always 2 steps behind him.
Yeah.
And I think that's a deliberate ploy. That's why he had Kellogg going to Europe and telling them one thing, and Rubio meeting with the Russians in Riyadh and telling them something else. And so
I think he's actually being smarter than I'm giving him credit for.
I think so too. I mean, and he's not an unintelligent man.
Oh no,
he's got his own eccentricities, let's call them.
Yeah.
But if look, the simple fact is that the world has never been as dangerous as it was under Joe Biden, for the simple reason that the Russians and the Americans weren't talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a student of international relations, and I'm a student of history, and utterly fascinated by the Cold War and JFK and the Cuban Missile Crisis and that whole thing.
Never been a more dangerous time than the last 4 years.
Exactly. Not even in the height of the Cold War, when things were so tense, were the Americans and the Russians not talking.
Yeah.
And so if Trump wants to talk to the Russians and make some peace, I mean,
do it.
What kind of fucking idiot wants World War III?
Nobody. In fact, Trump mentioned that you're walking us into World War III.
Exactly.
He said that to Zelensky. Right. Let's move on. So here we go. Right. This was at the beginning of the week, and this was when I was able to still reply to people as Sgt Grumpy. So this young lady, Emma Monk or whatever, PhD, right, obviously gave this some thought, and she had there must have been about a 15 or 20 tweet, thread on this about why this was nonsense. Another day, another wildly misleading Daily Mail headline. I mean, it certainly would be a headline worthy if the police had turned up and accused her of committing a crime by writing innocent Facebook posts. Well, that's exactly what did happen. Because she went on to explain how that's not what happened, and the police had a statutory duty to report her, to tell her that she'd been reported for not committing a crime. And the police don't have any such duty. And I pointed that out to her. The police are playing you. There is no statutory duty to confront the alleged offender if the police cannot establish a crime. And it's quite blatantly down there, and it's the case. Even people that don't know the police know, because I explained the situation to my wife, and she goes, the police wouldn't go to their door. The only reason the police went to her door is because she said that the politicians should be ashamed of themselves and should resign.
Well, there's 2 indicators in that person's profile that would automatically cause me to frankly ignore everything that they were saying. One of them is a blue heart.
Yeah.
And the other one is an EU flag.
Yeah.
And anyone that has more than 2 flags in their bio, in their profile name, it's just, they're trying to defend the indefensible. I don't know if they're basically useful idiots, essentially, because they're not, the side that they disagree with is essentially getting...
Sorry, the police lied. Greater Manchester Police said in the article that it was their statutory duty to attend and inform that woman.
One of the police worst police forces in the whole country.
Yeah, I know, but you can't do that. The police can't lie like that. And
they
if
can now.
See, the world's fucking changed completely because. I mean, obviously, does my light just go out? Oh, no, it didn't. I just can't compute this because the police aren't supposed to lie.
Good night, Shalini.
Are you done? Are you done already? We haven't even been here for an hour.
It's Friday, man.
Bloody hell. Night, Shalini.
Well, she needs her beauty sleep. Next slide.
She certainly does. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
You're such a bastard sometimes.
Yeah.
Your wife is a bloody saint putting up with you.
So that's naked Ukrainian protester. Well, naked from the waist up. That
was the other thing that happened since the last show, is the Das Deutsche elections.
Yeah, okay. I'm not even going to book into this because she plastered a reversed Hindu sign on the wall, and said that Weidel was a Putin slut. She wasn't happy about that. Anyway, illegal immigrant who stabbed his wife to death wins right to stay in Britain after arguing he might have to face the wrath of his in-laws back home in Turkey. And yeah, I know it's a comedic headline, but it's effectively that's the case. That's the freaking case. It beggars belief. What is the judiciary doing?
The judiciary is so completely broken. It's literally, we need to sack every single judge and start from scratch.
I think we do.
And I personally think UK column, and you've mentioned them too, it's common purpose.
Yeah.
And also the other thing I think we need with the judiciary is we need to do a forensic examination of every single one of their devices, all of them, a whole bloody lot of them. Literally put them under the microscope.
I think you may be right, mate. Right, okay. I need a producer. Oh, fuck, I've lost my mouse. Right, I've got it back. Right. Oh, the lovely Ursula von der Leyen. Ursula describes free speech as a virus and censorship as its vaccine. Let it be clear that she, along with everyone else advocating for censorship, is a true virus plaguing Europe. Yeah, she did. She stood up there and said, if you could think of free speech as a virus and misinformation as a virus, we would be the vaccine that would inoculate you from receiving that misinformation. The EU are so authoritarian, it's unbelievable.
Well, if you've noticed that every solution to every single problem that Europe has, that the EU tries to solve, never solves the problem and always leads to more centralization and more power for the Commission. I mean, who the hell elected von der Leyen? She was German's defense minister.
Nobody elected her.
She was appointed. Useless. She listened to what the Germans say about her as defense minister.
Yeah.
And if you look at the state of the German military, now that they are all being belligerent towards Russia, it's not exactly in the best condition. And she's she's been embroiled in corruption scandals relating to Pfizer as in the drug company. And I don't know, there's her and Kaka basically pretty much the lowest in my estimation. I mean, I even think Kim Jong-un is more of a better leader than bloody Ursula von der Leyen.
He's certainly more trustworthy.
And I mean, I would probably choose Kim Jong-un's pet dog over Kaka.
Poor Kaka. Right.
Literally.
Right, you asked for this.
Can you imagine being married to that?
Oh, I know.
God. I bet she's a proper psycho.
You wanted this one up. And I had one about Anonymous earlier as well.
Yeah, it isn't that account I find retards. It's just it's the apex because he takes no prisoners and he's always spot on.
Yeah,
and actually, it's kind of if he does nail you, you should feel quite honoured.
What I can't get over about Anonymous is that they were actually advocating for more government, more censorship. What the fuck has happened to Anonymous?
They've fallen. Oh, they were infiltrated.
I think they were funded by USAID. I think that's the problem.
Much. I mean, because the mask started obviously in V for Vendetta, and it's the Guy Fawkes mask. I mean, obviously not Guy Fawkes, but it's V for Vendetta where that image started. And it was, I think it was co-opted by, I think at one point Anonymous were a hacker collective, and I think that collective was very quickly infiltrated and brought down and then co-opted by the people that we were talking about last night.
I think you're right. Here's another one of yours. Who's this? Who's Nick Sortor? So he says, I reviewed one of the Epstein files, phase 1 binders. As to say I'm disappointed is an understatement.
This has obviously happened yesterday. The release of these binders.
Is this real?
Yeah. No, this is.
So this is one of the actual Epstein
Well, yeah,
files.
but what's even more hilarious is that every single thing in those binders is already in the public domain, and it's already in the public domain unredacted. Now, there's two parts to this particular story. There's two ways you can swing on this one. Either number one, Bondi is just more of the same, and we're just getting more of the same.
Yeah.
Number two, Bondi and Cash are currently dealing with a mini insurrection going on in sections of the FBI, particularly SDNY, the New York, one of the New York districts of the FBI, and also the CIA. I mean, there's reports of people being arrested at 3:00 in the morning shredding files, and there's threats from the CIA. Well, indirect
going
threats.
to foreign powers.
Well, no, I mean, there's some what they call seventh floor executive, which is the top level of the CIA. We're posting warnings in the media that they're not quite sure what they're going to do if loads of people are sacked, and it might create a group of disaffected people.
Yeah, I saw that.
There. And that's a threat, effectively.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm not sure, because guaranteed, the thing is that we have to go back to Trump's first presidency. And one of the big problems that he had was the intelligence services working against him. I think that's the reason that he wanted people like Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel in the jobs, and also Pam Bondi. Now, they have to get control of their particular agencies. And if they've got insubordinate people not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then there's going to be a certain amount of clearing house that has to be done. Mm-hmm. So I'm not one of the ones that's judging the release yesterday and saying, it's just bullshit, it's all more of the same. Where I'm coming from is, let's wait and see. Let's give them a few more weeks, because you don't get control of that kind of bureaucracy overnight. It doesn't happen on day one.
Okay, this is another one of yours. Andrew McCarthy here says, this is a real photo captured through my telescope of the moon, completely unedited on process. See anything strange? I don't see anything strange. I don't know about you.
Well, that one, zooming in on that light area of the moon.
That's not a light area of the moon. That's the ISS.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to see whether you were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that's like people just trying to be disingenuous, isn't it? And I think, to be fair,
Andrew McCarthy's not.
If I might finish, I'm not suggesting that Andrew McCarthy's doing that. I think he's being sarcastic, because his next post obviously showed a video of the said ISS sweeping across the moon, and obviously showing it was indeed the ISS. Have you ever seen the ISS traveling across the sky? Mm-hmm. It travels at some speed.
Yep.
Quite impressive. Right. Pete Hesgith has disqualified all transgender troops.
I thought you said you'd left one of the
No, that wasn't. That was another one. You had another one that was worse.
Well, you would think this was obvious. I mean, I think it was probably a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago, I saw a story saying that the US military under Biden was actually paying for transitioning as part of their medical cover.
Yeah.
And frankly, transgenders have got no business being in the military, because it politicizes it, and you end up with all sorts of issues about who's using what bathroom, and all of the attendant stuff. It's got nothing to do with the military. The military is about defense,
doing a job,
killing people, and doing your job and following orders.
Yeah. Do a job, get it done.
Yeah.
Blow off
I mean,
steam.
and then there was also there was another thing that's come to light.
I said steam, not Steve.
No, there was some really gross chat groups in the intelligence. They have this classified intelligence servers, and they have chat rooms on these servers. And one of the things that Gabbard and co found was some really depraved, like, transsexual stuff and people talking about all sorts of gross things that I'm not going to talk about on YouTube.
Okay.
And I mean, obviously, all that shit's been closed down, and just get all of this shit out. It needs to just done with it. I mean, this is what needs to happen in the UK. I don't know how much of it is an issue in the UK. I don't know if we've got any soldiers at all left, do we? No, we've got a few.
Well, what's his name? I was listening to Colonel McGregor yesterday, and he said he raised the UK would be lucky if they could put out a reinforced brigade, which is only about, what, 4,000 people or something? But anyway,
4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Right. There's another one of yours. Germany starts a help service for people affected by conspiracy theories. Do we need this, Ed? Do we need this? Should we be applying for help?
No.
No.
But what's so Orwellian about this is that theoretically in Germany, if you're at a family dinner or something and you get a bit drunk and you get a bit conspiracy theory and you start actually slapping some truth down on the table, your relatives can essentially get the government on the case and they get you locked up for being a crazy conspiracy theorist. I mean, what the fuck has happened to Germany anyway? Have they learned anything in the last 80 years? Literally one tiny little sliver of something.
Doesn't
seem like
you can take the German out of Germany, but you can never take the Nazi out of the German.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Sorry, right, let's move on. Well, here's another one of yours. This is Randy Quaid, who, as I said to you in chat earlier this week, seems to have turned into every one of the characters that he's ever played in one go.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't share this with you because I necessarily believed it. I just shared it with you because just the state of the world, and it was a good one for all in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Randy Quaid. This relates to the tragic death of Gene Hackman, which is, they say it's unsuspicious, but it's really, really quite suspicious. But let's not go there because this is a Thursday night sort of subject. But Randy Quaid posted on X saying that Gene Hackman had the most lucrative royalty stream in the industry and that he reckons it was a murder. So that's what Randy Quaid thinks.
So Gene Hackman was 95 years old. Now, more information has come to light, though, since his death yesterday. So Gene Hackman, who was 95 years old, and his wife was 63. I'm not sure what age the dog was, but...
Shut up.
But he's apparently, his wife had been dead for considerably longer than he had.
But she was also surrounded by pills.
Yeah, so maybe she's self-terminated, right? And he's thought about it for a while and then thought, and then maybe he's died of a broken heart. That could have happened.
The thing is that Gene Hackman, he's never one of those actors that you really saw outside of his movies. I mean, he's easily one of the best actors in the last 50 years. I mean, some of his roles are just
French Connection,
unbelievably good. Yeah. I mean, going right the way back to the 60s. I mean, he even managed to play his Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Was just, I mean, so creepy and good, but I don't know. I mean, he'd been married to his wife for a very long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, they were both well, she wasn't really elderly, I suppose, because she was only a year older than me. But anyway, fucking hell, that's frightening. Anyway, what was I going to say? Espresso Mechanic. Gene Hackman's death is very suspicious for my money. Well, can you ever say that about someone who's 95 years old? Really?
Well, it's more. I mean, generally for a 95-year-old, no. But I have a bunch of questions about the circumstances. I mean, the fact that the dog died. Maybe if the wife was surrounded by pills, did the dog maybe
eat a leg?
Some of the pills?
No, sorry. Sorry, I just jumped to
no, there was no
too far.
Eating legs, you fucking reprobate. Jesus.
I know.
This is why we don't have a big audience. Seriously, shit like that. Honestly.
Do people not find that funny? I think it's hilarious.
Your extremities and my potty mouth are basically scaring the world away. Which is good, because I don't really want them here anyway. I like the audience we've got. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's move on, because otherwise we'll be here until midnight.
So Yazzie, I think, is agreeing with me. He was 95. Yeah, he was.
Yes, I mean, in principle, old guy has a good life, makes great movies, dies.
Yeah.
But the fact of his wife and his dog and the pills and
the whole thing. The whole thing.
I'm not saying it was a murder.
No,
I don't agree with Randy Quaid. I would be curious to know the circumstances.
I think maybe it'll come out. She maybe had some kind of terminal disease or something like that.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Did herself in. He was broken up by it, moped about for a couple of weeks, drank himself to death. Maybe something like that.
Well, if what you say is true, and he realised that, I wonder how long the dog had been dead for. Well, no, I'm just curious, because if she took a pill overdose, left those pills lying around, the dog ate some pills, the dog died, he comes in, his wife and his dog are dead. Of course he's gonna drink himself to death. I probably would.
That's just ridiculous. Right, Nectarinus is injecting some kind of sanity. He said the bodies weren't.
Good at that.
He said the bodies weren't found for ages, were semi-mummified. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. And in different rooms. Yeah, well, I think a theory is developing here. I've still kind of got an inkling that maybe the dog died from eating a poisoned leg.
You're obsessed with the dog. Let's move on, because this obsession with dogs eating dead people is just a bit creepy.
But I mean, no matter how much a dog loves you, if ultimately you stop moving, it's either going to try and shag you or eat you.
Okay, enough with the dog eating the leg. Jesus. I mean,
right. Speaking of Jesus, here's Krista. Here's Krista. She wants us to get closer to Jesus, doesn't she? She wants us. Yeah, she wants to what? Start nuclear war? What?
Well, her grandfather's a Ukrainian NAZI. Literally.
Yeah.
She is of Ukrainian origin.
She looks quite Aryan.
Have you seen? There are some. I mean, this is just the picture, and she looks relatively normal in this picture. But when you see some video,
she looks like a bunny boiler.
She's literally she's on the same. She's on whatever Zelensky is on.
Oh,
but this is just. I mean, this is Canada, and right now Canada. Trump has got his eye on Canada. He doesn't refer to Trudeau. Have you noticed every time he's met Trudeau, he calls him Governor Trudeau? And I mean, I think Trudeau and Freeland are they're all WEF young global leaders. She's actually on the WEF steering committee.
Is Canada not still in the Commonwealth? So is it not still linked to the UK?
What do you think? You think Britain is going to go and protect Canada if America decides to?
No, I wasn't thinking that at all. But I'm thinking from the point of view that Trudeau is effectively just a governor, isn't he?
Well, he's resigned. The thing is that he prorogued Parliament.
Yeah,
and he's resigned. So
everybody seems to have forgotten it because he's still there, still doing the job, and nobody's calling him out saying, "Why are you still here?"
Well, he's figured out a way because the Canadians hate him.
Yeah,
and he knows he's on his way out, so he's figured out a way to essentially become dictator of Canada for a while.
Yeah, without criticism.
And he can do whatever he wants. And Freeland is an absolute, proper, complete 100% nutball.
Oh, yeah, she's a nut.
And I mean, this just confirms it. It's like you're going to just... Okay, so they want France to provide a nuclear umbrella.
Well, no, hold on. You're not reading that right. So she wants Canada to partner with Europe, starting with Denmark. Denmark doesn't have
nuclear weapons.
Denmark doesn't have nuclear weapons.
Well, France and the UK do technically,
Yes,
but France is the only one that has them that are independent.
Yeah, because the UK's nuclear weapons are American supplied, aren't they?
And also, we can't launch our tridents without the approval of the Americans, effectively.
So we really don't have nuclear weapons. We're just a nuclear weapon base for America.
But, I mean, these people are not reading the room. We've got the United States, China, and Russia all wanting to talk peace, and we have all these little chihuahuas running around yapping.
I cannot believe the fucking state the world is in. How can anyone actually sit and try and analyze this with any kind of sense? You know, I mean, the whole thing's nuts, isn't it? It's nuts.
That's why we do it with alcohol.
You couldn't do this sober, mate. You couldn't.
No, I couldn't do all in sober.
Right.
Fuck that.
Breaking news. This was earlier in the week in France. A police officer dead and 5 more injured in a terror knife attack in France.
Where does it end?
Well, it's getting pretty bad in France.
I mean, they want to send troops to Ukraine. How about putting some troops on the streets, cleaning up the streets, rounding up all the illegals, shipping them back to where the fuck they came from, and then let's sort our own countries out.
Indeed.
And a lot of the thing to remember is that a lot of the reason why we've got Europeans and Canadians, all these people, all these leaders that are so belligerent towards Russia, it's a distraction because they don't have any solutions to the problems at home.
Exactly.
And so they're distracting everyone's attention by focusing on Ukraine.
Exactly. Right, moving on. Jess Phillips said there's no place where violence against women and girls doesn't happen, as a new law is set to make spiking a criminal offence. Spiking has been a criminal offence for decades, right? There is no need for a new law to make spiking a criminal offence.
The thing is that they keep doing this, and when you actually look at these new laws, all it does is it doesn't criminalize anything that wasn't criminal before. It just gives the government more power to be intrusive and invasive and spy on us and be generally authoritarian.
And this is back to when your prime minister is a lawyer, the solution to everything is a law.
Yeah. And instead of going for the actual problems that we've got, I mean, okay, people get spiked, and they shouldn't do it, and it's wrong, and women and people generally need to be careful with their drinks when they're out, but that's always been the case for the last 30 fucking years. What we've got is real problems in the country, and the government doesn't have any solutions to the real problems, so they just going after low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And they bring in laws that give them more power and give us less power, and it's just this steady creep. And I don't know. I mean, people are like, Jess Phillips, she's so great. I think she's awful, actually. Let's move on. I'm going to start ranting myself into trouble.
Right.
So someone got locked up for sending Jess Phillips a nasty email. So.
Oh, yeah, they did, yeah. And, that's like...
Okay. I mean, can we just clear one thing up right off the bat? Ukraine never had nukes. No. Never.
I know that.
They were army nukes controlled by the Soviet Red Army.
Yeah.
They were never under any control of any Ukrainians.
Yeah, but that's not what this girl's wanting to do. These are the people, right? If you think back, these are the people that used to hang about Green and Common and places like that and go down with nukes. And now they're promoting nuclear weapons. The world has literally turned upside fucking down.
Can you imagine giving that state of a creature that was just in the White House shouting at Donald Trump and nukes?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what an insufferable, genocidal, apocalyptical scumbag he would be with nukes?
Yes, I can, unfortunately.
Just no.
She is Gen Z. She doesn't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They've lost it. So, David Lammy. And this is a slightly older one, but it doesn't get any better. David Lammy, the Labour MP, has apologised after accusing the BBC of spreading silly innuendo about the race of the Pope after he apparently failed to realise a tweet about black or white smoke referred to the way the conclave selects a new pontiff. And it's not about the fucking race of the new pontiff.
I swear to God, if you cracked open David Lamu's skull,
yes.
removed whatever brain matter he might have in there, replaced it with pig shit, and closed his skull back up, he would probably be a more functional human being.
The guys are rich.
Honestly,
do you remember?
This is our foreign secretary.
Do you remember?
This dickhead represents the United Kingdom on the world stage. Just put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it.
Do you remember when he was being interviewed on television? He says, "You never see any police patrol the streets anymore." And there was a cop behind him.
I mean, this is the one that was on national radio and said, "Yes, I do believe that with the right hormones and surgery that women."
Yeah.
That men can grow a cervix. It's just and his department since Labour came to power, his department has spent over £500,000 just on food and drink.
Yes,
and
I noticed
really
that.
Expensive crystal glasses.
As who was the guy out of Monty? Wasn't Monty Python? Who was the guy? The big fat guy that ate all the food and exploded.
Mr. Creosote.
Yeah, was that Monty Python?
Yeah. Mr. Creosote was Monty Python.
Right. Okay. So we've got
moving on. Otherwise,
we've got some funny stuff. Okay. When your USAID slush fund gets doged and you can't afford paid protesters.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's like the SNP when they protested outside the BBC. There were about 6 people.
So funny. I mean, watching these, like the swamp creatures.
Yeah.
Like sliming around and flailing around. This is one of my things about Trump and Musk and Vance and all these people is I might not necessarily agree with them, or necessarily even particularly like them, although I'm kind of getting to like JD Vance, even though I've never met him. I'd like to share a beer with him.
Yeah.
But the fundamental thing about them is that they are pissing off all the right people.
Yeah.
All of the people that are getting pissed off about what Trump are doing are scumbags.
They are. Right. Wait, where are we now? Bring the mouse back. Right. So I posted this because this is apparently an actual photograph from the James Webb Space Telescope. Okay. Of Saturn. Someone goes, "What's that shooting past it?" Right. And then someone else says, How did they turn the rings on? How did they make them so bright?" It's like, fucking hell, people! Do you not understand the concept of a time lapse?
But I mean, the James, some of the images.
Oh, the images are good, but
James Webb,
fucking hell,
amazing.
People are retarded. They really are.
I blame the education system. This is
what else can you blame?
30 or 40 years of dumbing people down.
Yeah, you can blame the parents, I suppose.
Well, the problem is that the parents were dumbed down before the kids were dumbed down.
Right, we've only got about 6 slides left. The entire Alabama Police Department. An entire Alabama Police Department, not the Alabama Police Department. So an entire Alabama Police Department was put on leave after a grand jury said it operated as a criminal enterprise. Look at the stake of these guys. This is obviously a small sheriff's department, right? This is fucking scary.
I bet there are some horror stories coming out of that little piece of Alabama. And yeah, unfortunately, there's some proper stereotypes going on there as well.
Check this guy in the middle. I bet his name's Moose.
Oh dear. Well, all I can say is that I bet the people from that little part of Alabama are sleeping much more comfortably in their beds tonight.
I hope so. Right. So I'm not quite sure what Lee Hust was going on about here. He was talking about fat people having to pay extra for well, everybody was talking about fat people having
airline tickets. There was a campaign by a plus size influencer on TikTok.
So Lee Hust goes, there should be a height weight scale. Anything above it and you pay extra, you're the reason you're overweight. Do something about it. Before anyone chips in, if you eat less, you will lose weight, whatever excuse. Now, I'm thinking that he's maybe not meant to put, and this, people, this is why punctuation is actually important, right? Because if it's a ratio, you wouldn't put a comma in there, you'd put a slash to make it a height weight scale, i.e., you could be a certain height and a certain weight for that height. But what he's done is he said there should be a effectively separate height and weight scale. And if you're over certain height, you should have to pay extra. So I said, height, you want people to look at their kids and go, oh, he's getting a bit tall, better stop feeding him so he doesn't incur excess seat charge on future flights. This is why punctuation is actually important. Call me a pedant, if you will.
Well, everybody makes these mistakes, and everybody doesn't spend enough time reading their tweets. Sometimes I'm just as guilty of that as everybody else.
I know, but not when
But
it
in
comes
this case,
to...
I mean, the overall story that essentially people who are actively obese. I mean, this woman who's kicked the whole thing off.
Oh yeah, I know.
She's proud to be the size that she is. And yeah, I can imagine squeezing her fat ass into an EasyJet seat is not going to be easy. But
overcompensating, mate. These people are happy being
if you allow yourself to get into that sort of state that you need 2 airline seats instead of 1, then why the hell should the other passengers have to subsidize your extra seat?
Exactly.
And that's a simple fairness thing.
That's outrageous, isn't it? Right. So I blanked out that for the sake of decency, obviously. But the next one, I want you to look at the next one quickly, because I glanced at this when it came by and I thought, someone is barbecuing Stephen Hawking's head. It does look like that when you glance at it, doesn't it? It does look like Stephen Hawking's head's on the barbecue.
It does a little bit. Yeah, I guess.
Or am I stretching?
Stretching a little bit.
I mean, I just glanced at it and I thought, why the fuck is Stephen Hawking's head getting a barbecue?
If you just glanced at it really quickly, you could potentially think that, but because you explained it beforehand,
I shouldn't have.
No.
All right, okay. Oh, Militant Mushroom sees it. Thank you, Militant. Oh, right. Okay, we've only got 2 left, and one of them's that. You put that up. That's one of Ed's.
I don't know how many people are fans of Police Academy.
Yeah, well, the first one, yeah.
I mean,
even the
first
second one
I watched as a kid. I don't think up until that point in my life I'd ever laughed so much at a movie. And this guy is one of the ones that I laughed the most at. And when you think about it, he's the narrator of the 2020s.
How dare you?
Oh, not that.
That's true.
That button, Militant. Right. So that guy, that guy was brilliant. Do you remember when somebody's trousers fell down at a podium the other day, and I immediately thought of Police Academy.
Oh, who was that? I saw that. I can't remember the name. Oh, fuck's sake!
Was it Harrison Ford?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Harrison Ford. I can't remember. Someone would have to look it up. We need a producer to look these things up for us.
Yeah, we do. But I remember that. I immediately thought it was Mark Hamill. Yeah, it was Mark Hamill. His trousers fell down at a podium, and I immediately thought about Police Academy. Somebody's fucking doing him. That was
My inner
hilarious.
child is so disappointed with him.
Oh,
Honestly, I have to disassociate
I know.
Mark Hamill from Luke Skywalker, because Luke Skywalker was one of my earliest freaking childhood heroes. Skywalker, not Water. Yeah. And Mark Hamill is just so disappointing. Yeah. It's like, I was never a Stephen King fan, but I was a Mark Hamill fan.
Stephen King looks... Stephen King's turning into the Grinch. He looks...
I don't know,
like
but he was...
but look at him. He looks like the Grinch. All you need to do is paint him green and he could actually just star as the Grinch. He's got this ginormous philtrum. I've never seen a philtrum that size on anyone outside of Ned Flanders.
I don't know. I think he's just twisted. And he's come back on X as well. It's really disappointing. I kind of prefer it without him, frankly. That's
fucking Musk again. Paying Musk pays for his blue tick.
I think he used to. Does he still?
Well, if he started paying for it, how's he going to stop?
I don't know. I thought at the time I thought it was quite a clever marketing strategy from Musk.
Well, I didn't, because it actually made me go, "What the fuck? You're a knob."
The thing is, it speaks to how addictive X/Twitter is, and there's something about the formula. I don't know what it is. It's also tends to be where people come first to post stuff, but it's like so many. You've got all these people who go, "I'm quitting X," and then 2 weeks later they're back.
Yeah. So what pisses me off is Musk is going to claim this as his formula, but Twitter was always like that. Twitter.
I've never heard him say anything of the sort.
No, but
he's just
he hasn't said it yet. But give it 10 or 20 years, and he'll go, "Yeah, X was a brilliant invention of mine." Dorsey will be fucking written out the equation. Twitter, the first 20 or the first 10 years, 12 years will have gone, and it'll all be X.
Well, on the basis that Dorsey suspended me and Musk reinstated my account, I don't care. Because to be honest, no, because the only reason now that a lot of the stuff that's coming out is coming out, and a lot of the information that we can find is because Musk bought Twitter.
Oh yeah, right.
X.
Okay,
we don't necessarily have maximum freedom of speech, but we're not getting caned for the same reasons as we were before.
When did you join Twitter?
2000 and let me just check my account. Joined January 2011.
Right. So Twitter wasn't like anything. It wasn't. In fact, Twitter was even...
Trump made Twitter.
No, wait a minute. Twitter was wilder than it is now when it was Twitter in 2011. Twitter was no holds barred.
Yeah, and that's why all of these celebrities have to go through all of their tweets and delete them.
Yeah, it was fucking brilliant in 2000. I joined in 2009. It was brilliant in the early days, and then it got, fucking weighed down by the start of wokeness. Yeah, and okay, Musk might have released it from that, but I think Dorsey was actually going down that route. He'd started to lessen off.
Well, until COVID happened.
Yeah, but everybody did exactly the same bloody thing in COVID, and Twitter wasn't any better, was it? Even under X, you still had to watch what you were saying. Yeah,
and but the thing is that now you still have to watch what you say on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else.
I've just been fucking suspended on X for saying nothing.
Because you used
saying nothing.
I'm not. Yeah, we have more. Okay, look, I realise this is 2025. Okay, we were all put in prison in 2020, and we're kind of on day release.
Day release.
So
that's what it's like. It's like you're out with a tag, and if you're going to reoffend, you're going to be wheeked back. Right.
Pretty much.
What have we anything else we want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Is that the last slide?
No, I've got one left. But it's a night slide.
Let's just have a quick scan and see
Yeah, okay.
what the fuck madness has happened.
Watched any good movies recently? Oh, I had a nightmare last night. I had a fucking nightmare. And it was almost a lucid nightmare, right? Because I'm lying sleeping, and I kind of thought, right, I've woken up. I thought I'd woken up, I couldn't move, and I'm thinking, why can't I move? And then I heard this noise. And I'm going, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, I can't move. Why can't I move? And then I moved my arm. And I moved my arm towards the noise for some reason. I don't know why I would do this, right? But anyway, and the noise goes, "Argh!" And I goes, ah! then I woke up, and I thought, you cunt! If I'd known it was lucid, I should have carried on and had fun with it, but I didn't get the chance.
Oh my God! Just the English. Sorry, I've just seen a post on X from some Irish no-name MP, the MP for Foyle, chair of New Ireland Commission Derry, has just posted, Keir Starmer should rescind the offer of a state visit for Trump in solidarity with Zelensky UA and the Ukrainian people. The world needs to stand up to this bully.
Hold on, it wasn't Keir Starmer that offered his state dinner, it was the king.
Well,
yeah, I probably did, Nick, to read this. You're right. I heard myself snoring. That's probably what happened.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, fucking hell! Right.
So,
Whoa.
Hang on. Basovas just translated what Zelensky said, and it was suka blyat.
Oh, that's bad. I know that's bad. I don't think you can say that, can you? Anyway, right, hold on, wait to hear this. Senator Lindsey Graham, right?
Oh, this one.
is in Congress and has just called on Zelensky to resign after his behaviour in the Oval Office. Lindsey fucking Graham.
You know you're done. I mean, and also there was apparently there's a Ukrainian MP. Mm-hmm. Or a member of the Rada that has
asked to impeach him.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zelensky doesn't actually ever go back to Kiev. But I mean, it's Twitter is essentially still going pretty loopy. Everyone is talking about Zelensky. Guy Verhofstadt, everyone's favorite Eurocrat. This is disgrace. This bullying, this arrogance of Vance and Trump attacking the most courageous man on earth.
Oh my
God! Be happy that Roosevelt and not Trump was American president in 1941. Otherwise, we still lived in Europe under a Nazi regime. His English has just gone to shit as well, probably because he's probably
sitting drinking.
But
he's probably crying. His tears are probably falling into his whiskey.
I mean, when you watch it. And to try and say that Vance and Trump were arrogant in that interview when it was clearly Zelensky who was, just his whole body language, everything. Anyway, Guy Verhofstadt is one of my least favorite people in the whole of Europe. So the memes, the memes that are going to come out of this, I posted it on Twitter myself, that for all of the damage that Trump and Vance did to Zelensky's ego, is being pale into insignificance next to the memes that are going to be made out of this. But it's kind of a world-changing moment, because when everyone's laughing at you, that whole mystique of being the courageous God King Emperor of Europe disappears in laughter. And all of the people that's supporting you, like Guy Verhofstadt and Ursula von der Leyen and Keir Starmer and all that, because I don't think the dear leaders commented about this one yet. But there've been plenty, like not Grant Shapps, what's his name, one of those other idiot defence ministers under the Tories. It doesn't matter anyway. But they're all going, oh, Zelensky, you're not on your own. How dare you, Trump, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they're not reading the room, because the rest of the world and most of their own populations are all on Trump's side.
Bear with me. Sorry, I'm just trying to do stuff.
And it's, I mean, when you look at Trump, okay, Trump is a bit of a loose cannon, and he'll say one thing 1 minute and completely the opposite thing the next. But when you listen to JD Vance, he's a seriously impressive bloke.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's
switched on.
Yeah, he's very switched on. He's very eloquent. He's got a lot of balls. He's not afraid to say what he thinks. And he does it in a very statesmanlike way. I mean, he's definitely got makings of a good US president in 4 years.
Yeah. So,
assuming that Donald doesn't get all insecure about it.
So Kim Jong-un says he's very worried about the lack of freedom of speech in England.
If I was Kim Jong-un, someone needs to tell him if maybe he listens to the show. If he's listening to the show, Kim, you need to milk this shit as much as you possibly can, because there is so much. Because I bet the roads in North Korea are better than the ones we've got.
Oh, they are, because there's no cars. Right.
Fair play.
Right. Okay. We're going to have to wind this up, unless you want to carry it for 5 minutes, because I need to go to the bog. But I'm happy to stay on. It's up to you.
Well, I can probably. I mean, it's 20 to 11. We've still got an audience.
Oh, we've got a cracking audience. 33 viewers.
Well, you go to the toilet,
right.
And I'm just going to scroll through Twitter and see if I can find something.
See if you can annoy people.
Who have we got? Oh, some of the memes. Honestly, it's by the time the night is finished, Zelensky is going to have been destroyed twice. Once by Trump and Vance, and then the second time by every memer on the internet. Lindsey Graham, that was a big one. If you've lost Lindsey Graham, you've lost the room. Oh, Alistair Campbell, here we go. Putin and his murderous thugs are watching this and laughing their heads off. Trump and Vance are singing his songs at the top of their voices. This is going to be great television, says Trump. All he cares about was talking to Michael Wolff earlier. You have to remember he's a reality TV star, he said. All he cares about is attention, and together to get ratings, you need conflict, conflict, conflict. As for Vance, vile. Zelensky is a great man being treated to mafia-style bullying, intimidation, and extortion. Europe has to stand up as one when Zelensky arrives in London on Sunday. Okay, let's just unpack this. Zelensky is a great man being treated to a mafia-style bullying, intimidation, and extortion. Now, I'm sorry, has anyone seen the pictures and videos of men being picked up in Kiev and sent into the army? The levels of corruption in Ukraine? I mean, Alistair Campbell, so it's literally, well, I don't know. I'm going to be careful because I'll just end up getting myself into trouble, and I don't need lawyers' letters from Campbell. Suffice it to say, dodgy dossier, Iraq war, lots of people dead, and whose fault was it? Al? I mean, this is insane. Just scrolling through here, at least it's more fun. Don't you guys think it's more fun? Biden was boring. I mean, literally, we've had 4 years of just the most boring US administration ever. And now it's much more fun. Let's have a look at the chat room. Where are we? Nectarita's just sent me a meme. Suka Briat fucking bitch. That's going to go down well. Not. Zelensky, you just can't get over how much he's exposed himself, because anyone who's really been paying attention to it, not obviously to mainstream media nonsense, but people who have been actually watching what Zelensky is like for the last 3 years, knew what he was like, and he was always really good at hiding it because he's a TV showman, comedian, dickhead. And yeah, so he's putting on a performance, and this is one performance too many. John, you're back.
I am back. Yes, I am back.
I actually managed to keep talking the whole time, so my brain just going blank like it did last time.
Well done, well done. Mark Andrew Chapman, my Facebook feed is filled with folks siding with the failed actor. I'm worried it's like 2020 all over again. Yeah, Nectaridis, no, who is it? Scott Check says, there's your mistake, Facebook. Yeah, you could be right, Ray. Yeah.
Oh, some of these memes. Because the thing is, the thing that we have to remember is that now we've had Macron, we've had Starmer, and they've basically tried to polish the turd of the meeting that they had with Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump probably told both of those two idiots exactly what they wanted to hear, gave them all sorts of platitudes and everything else, knowing that Zelensky was coming at the end of the week and that they were essentially going to sit him down and give him a bit of a talking to. And they probably know, if they're clever, just how unstable Zelensky has gotten. Because, I mean, you would see him in places like Munich and stuff like that. So, and they're also obviously getting intelligence reports about him and things like that. And the whole bloody world knows he's a complete.
Yeah, I know.
And so they figured they'd probably just let Zelensky drop himself in it.
Yeah. People piss me off, right? So here's the guy. So the funding to USAID ends and the chemtrails stop. Anyone else notice this? Well, no, because up here it's been fucking grey skies for the last 4 days. We had blue skies today, right? So that makes a mockery of your statement, you freaking idiot. It really pisses me off. These people, it's like, oh, our local weather has improved. They've stopped spreading chemtrail. Yeah, sure they have, yeah.
The problem with anger is that anger switches off rationality.
Yeah.
You can't be angry and rational at the same time. And so what you've got is lots of anger and lots of people with X accounts who are essentially just spouting utter bollocks and have delusions of grandeur. I mean, the thought that Europe is going to be able to do anything to help Ukraine.
Fuck me, Ed. You've given me an epiphany. You really have, because that's obviously my superpower. Because I can be angry and rational at the same time. Did you send me something about consciousness? I don't think I've got that tweet in.
Oh yes, there was a study that has come out.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
That's no, because I can remember the details. I was just posting a little tweet.
Right, go on.
There's been a study done that has looked at human consciousness,
yes,
and telepathy.
That's right. I remember reading it. Yeah.
I know. I was asking Grok.
It was about things like psionics, which is a made-up term used by I think Alistair Campbell way back in not that Alistair Campbell, the one that actually was quite a good guy and wrote science fiction back in Astounding Stories. But yeah.
Bloody hell, that's gone. But
hold on.
I put the story through Grok.
I'm sure it'll be there. Hold on.
And
when did
it
you
was
send
all
it
about
to me?
the frontal cortex. Apparently, all people should have the ability to be telepathic and have these ESP, extrasensory perception.
I found it, Ed.
And it's got something to do with the frontal lobe. And I basically just shits and giggles this morning. I put that into Grok, and I posted the story into Grok, and I said, and I put it on Deep Think or Deep Search, and I said, how can I unlock my telepathic ability? And the conclusion that it came to was transcendental meditation. that if you can figure out a way to switch off your frontal lobe, then you can access those abilities within your brain.
What about a lobotomy?
I don't think hammering a spike through your skull is going to achieve the same result, because it's more likely to short circuit everything.
Okay. Right, so here we go. A new study found that shutting down part of the frontal lobe with RTMS enhanced mind matter interactions, suggesting psi is real but suppressed by evolution. What happens if we remove the filter? Psi abilities include telepathy, clairvoyance, and mind matter interactions, an ability to influence a random event generator. Aligned with theories from Henry Bergson, 1914, and modern neuroscience, suggesting that the brain functions more as a receiver than a generator of consciousness. Have I not been banging on about that since you've known me?
We agree.
Yeah.
Well, we that's something that we agree on. We've agreed on that pretty much since the first time we met, because, yeah, I agree. I've always believed that we're a receiver of the greater consciousness, or a piece of the greater consciousness. But this story is fascinating. I mean, apart from the fact that, okay, forget about all this evolution nonsense, Anunnaki, right? If the Anunnaki created humans, and the Anunnaki themselves are telepathic in some way, then they wouldn't want to give us that ability. So maybe when they engineered us, they created the frontal lobe to actually switch that shit off. How do you like them apples? It's always the Anunnaki, man. Fuck evolution. Anunnaki all the way.
I'm not convinced about the Anunnaki.
No, I'm not. I'm a bit pissed and being sarcastic, of course not.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Where's the fucking link to the horizon?
But people love the Anunnaki, man.
Why do they love the Anunnaki? Because the Anunnaki were your slavers, in effect, were they not?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the thing is,
is this some sort of Stockholm syndrome reaching back over the eons?
Maybe, but it's. I mean, apart from the fact that it's quite sci-fi and a bit out there, and people on our side of the fence in the rabbit hole sort of community love things like that.
Yeah.
But actually, there's a whole bunch of things about humans that don't make sense from an evolutionary perspective.
Yeah.
That just don't. There's too many to actually mention, but it starts off with the fact that our brains are so big that we have to come out of our mothers completely undeveloped and therefore completely helpless, which almost no other mammal on the planet is as helpless as a human when they come out of the mother's womb.
Well, yeah, no, that's not right.
Things.
That's not right.
But there's a missing link. Evolutionarily, there's a missing link.
Joeys are much more helpless or just as helpless as human babies.
Yeah, that's why the fucking kangaroos have a pouch.
Yeah, and things like newborn rats and rabbits and things are pretty helpless. They can't run about. What you're talking about is savanna type animals, because probably you've fucking spent a lot of time in Africa.
Well, no, that's true. I mean, dogs and cats, and yeah, okay, fair enough, but still. Anunnaki. Honestly.
Where's
the missing link then, bitch?
Oh no, there's no missing link, mate. I'm not a fan of evolution. I really am not. I don't think you can't do. Apparently, you cannot merge two fucking chromosomes naturally, right? And the problem with chromosome. An
Anunnaki believer as well.
No, I'm not an Anunnaki believer, but the problem with chromosome 2 is that it seems to be fucking butt up together, right? But it's got telomeres inside in the middle where the two have been merged together, and that should not be possible.
Well, so where do you think we came from?
Genetic engineering, mate.
Okay, by who?
By whom?
Anunnaki.
You call them what you will, yeah, okay. It's the Anunnaki. I've been beaten down. It's the Anunnaki. Ultimately, everything comes back to the Anunnaki.
Well, this is why Hecklefish is so clever, because he's figured it out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Right.
dear, oh dear. Yeah, I knew that key one. What's happening?
Let's just see if something. Everyone is basically still just talking about.
So we've got 28 viewers over on the vertical stream, and we're down to 13 on the horizontal. So that's still not too bad. We've done all
I
right.
have to say, it's actually really fun watching all the European leaders.
Melting down.
Macron's posted an hour ago, there is an aggressor, Russia. There is a victim, Ukraine. We were right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago and to keep doing so. By we, I mean the Americans, the Europeans, the Canadians, the Japanese, and many others. Thank you to all who have helped and continue to do so, and respect to those who have been fighting since the beginning, because they are fighting for their dignity, their independence, their children, and the security of Europe. Oh God, he's so full of so much.
Right, here we go. So this woman, Gloria De Piero, she's simply one of the most impressive politicians of my lifetime. Angela Rayner, right? Okay.
Oh my God, I saw that one.
That's sick. Here we go. Priti Patel. President Zelensky has led Ukraine through its darkest hour. His leadership, coupled with the remarkable courage of the Ukrainian people, have inspired us all and crucially held back Russia's illegal invasion. The Ukrainian people have faced horrors that few of us could imagine. Julia Heartless Brewer. Bloody hell. President Zelensky's taken on both Trump and Vance in the Oval Office. He's the only leader who's visited Trump who's telling it like it is. He's got more balls than any other man who's ever been in that room. Julia Heartless Brewer. What a bitch.
She's
fucking hell.
I mean, she's down there with Piers Morgan. I refer the honourable gentleman to the most excellent cartoon that Bob Moran did of Piers Morgan and Julia Hartley Brewer. Piers Moron and Julia Heartless Brewer being chucked out of the Garden of Eden by God, and they're both butt naked, and they look. It's one of Bob's most brilliant cartoons.
Right, Vladimir Zelensky himself has managed to rise himself from his post-snort nap and said, "Thank you, America. Thank you for your support. Thank you for his visit. Thank you, POTUS, Congress and the American people. Ukraine needs just and lasting peace, and we're working exactly for that."
He's just been kicked out of the White House for being an arrogant little shit. Hasn't apologized for saying, "Look, I'm really sorry, it was a bad flight. I wasn't on 100% game," and something, or just kept his fucking mouth shut. Honestly, he's done. He doesn't even know he's done. Is literally they've essentially terminated his ongoing existence. They just he's not like quite finished kicking the bucket yet. He's on life support. I expect the Ukrainian parliament is possibly going to switch the life support off.
The
thing is that him and his Banderite thugs have got the entire Ukrainian population cowed, including the Rada.
I think this is maybe the start of the turning point, mate. I think this is maybe what they needed.
Well, there's plenty of good Ukrainians that want all of this nonsense to stop and for their kids to stop dying. But because little Z has had such an iron grip through not him specifically, but all of the people that he's a front man for, and they're the really scary ones, because unless something is done to bring them under control, then you could have all sorts of shit happening in Europe. I mean, Zelensky's even threatened it himself at one point, saying that if the Ukrainian diaspora that's now all over Europe have to deal with the Ukrainian loss, then, I mean, who knows what sort of Operation Gladio type Azov. I mean, we're talking like an Azov Operation Gladio type thing, where they start kicking off all sorts of terrorist attacks all over Europe, and then probably stupidly trying to blame Russians or something. Who knows what kind of crazy bullshit they're going to do? I mean, if there's any sense in Ukraine, they will get rid of Zelensky, put him in prison before he can get on a jet to go to Paris or somewhere, or London, even worse. I don't know. I think his days are. There's a countdown timer on that guy now.
Oh, I think so. And I think there's a countdown timer on us, mate. I think we're pretty much done for the night.
It's nearly 11 o'clock. That was a really good show.
Great show. I had a blast tonight. I mean, it had to be done. That was just what
the timing was perfect.
I just smacked me in the gob when I saw it. I'm like, oh my god!
I'm probably going to be up until 1 o'clock in the morning, just scrolling.
Yeah,
because it's too much fun.
That is, and we'll let you kind people out there, go. Remember, share, subscribe, and all that kind of nonsense because it helps. And if you ever can, drop me some support at Sgt Grumpy. I will appreciate it. And apart from that, I think it's been pretty much been great for you.
It's Friday night and we're all in. Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a
Actually, just a minute, I'm back. Good night everyone, and when you go to bed tonight, just remember, Barack and Michael are thinking about Diddy.
It's Friday night and we're all in. Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think